Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today, Brian?
I am great. How are you, Mal?
I'm doing well. Good morning, everyone who's joining. It's so fun. I love seeing people's names pop up. Hello, hello. Happy Sunday. So today we're doing a 30-minute journey into power with Baptiste Power Yoga Phoenix. I'm Mallory Fox. The person in the lower half of the screen is my husband, Brian Thomas, the founder and owner of Baptiste Power Yoga Phoenix. And Brian, I'll kick it to you. Is there anything you'd like to say before we jump right in?
Well, yeah, just thank you, Mallory, for coming on this morning and being our badass guest Baptiste Teacher of the Week. And I think this is the first time you are the second. This is your second time of being a badass teacher for us. So thank you for donating your time again to teach your expression of journey into power for us.
Thank you. I'd like to just offer an invitation. I'm going to say a lot of words. I'm going to suggest a lot of poses. And what power yoga means to me, it's finding the power within self. So it doesn't mean how many chaturangas you can do. It doesn't mean you move super quickly through the flow. I'm going to get a lot of enjoyment out of working Brian really, really hard. But my invitation to each of you is to find your own power today, whatever that looks like or feels like for you. So there can be power found in child's pose when you need a break. There can be power found in holding a pose for a period of time. Do what feels best for you today. That is my invitation and my challenge to you. And if that sounds good, we will go ahead and get started. Go ahead and find your yoga mat or your bed or your piece of floor, wherever you're going to flow today. And let's start in child's pose. Big toes touch, knees spread out wide. Fingertips reach away from your shoulders. And let's take a big, deep breath in together. Big inhale. Really filling up with air, big exhale. Allowing your body to drop a little heavier onto your yoga mat or the surface beneath you. On the next inhale, downward facing dog. Keep the knees soft. Soften your joints like air. And ground down into all four corners of your hands and your feet, really creating that connection to the floor. And use that strength to pull the energy into your core. And now bring in a little softening to the joints. Brian, bend your knees just a bit and really lift your tailbone up to the ceiling. Yeah, just like that. And take a moment to just notice where you are right now. And when you're ready, start to tiptoe your feet to your hands, moving fast or slow, whatever your body needs today, and release into ragdoll. Grab opposite elbows, keep the knees soft. You might sway side to side, or you may find stillness. Coming back to the breath, coming back to your foundation, all four corners of your feet pressing into the floor, pulling the energy in through the muscles in your legs, pulling the muscles to the bone, and finding that space in your spine. Beautiful. And then releasing the arms, slowly roll up to standing. Extended mountain pose, reach your arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, bring hands to your heart center. I'm going to offer an intention this morning, and feel free to try it on and pick something else if this doesn't resonate with you. But my intention that I'm offering is to embrace the power that's already within you. Let's take a deep breath together to seal it in. Big inhale. Big exhale. Inhale, reach your hands up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Hands come to shins, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, chaturanga. High push-up position to low push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Really press down through the tops of your feet. Great. Downward facing dog. Lifting the hips up to the ceiling. We're going to take 5 breaths here. And Brian, I love the breath that you're generating. It helps me to count. My clients know I'm a terrible counter. And we're going to put in and keep present the 5 pillars of Baptiste yoga. The first pillar is drishti, so our focus. Let's bring our focus to our hands. Look to your hands. Breath in. Exhale, hop or step your feet up to the front of your mat, right between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root down into your feet and rise all the way up, extended mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, chaturanga. So just matching breath to movement. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. And remember what I said at the beginning. I'm going to call out a bunch of poses, a bunch of words. Find your power within yourself. And that doesn't mean you have to match me movement for movement. Find what feels powerful for you within each pose. All right, the second pillar of Baptiste yoga. We're going to find our ujjayi, and Brian's exemplifying that so beautifully. That's the breath. So with each breath, we're going to move. Inhale, look to your hands, set your drishti. Exhale, hop your feet to your hands. Big breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach up, extended mountain. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthening through the spine. Exhale, chaturanga. And flow on your own, Brian. Go on your own breath. Really show us that example. Awesome. 5 breaths here. Our next pillar is our bandhas, our core. So I want you to really spread your fingers really wide like starfish. Press down into each fingertip. Press down into the feet. And then pull all of that energy into your core. And those are your bandhas. Hop your feet to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Thunderbolt. Chair pose. My least favorite pose in the history of the world. So you're going to sit low into your chair, and we're going to come back to that foundation. So really sparking your fingers, energy through your fingers, pressing down into the ground of your feet, pulling into your core. And right here, you might already be feeling our 4th pillar, which is tapas. That's the fire. That's the heat that you're building in your own body. Okay, great. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Take this one on your own breath. Moving through upward facing dog to downward facing dog. And come back to your pillars, your drishti, your focus. Your ujjayi, that's your breath. The bandhas, that's your hands and your feet, that connection to the floor, using that energy to support your core. The heat, the fire that you're building. And then the final piece of the 5 pillars of Baptiste yoga is, are you ready for it? Your flow. So now we're going to move into vinyasa, our flow. Bring your feet to your hands. Halfway lift, forward fold, chair pose. Beautiful. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to take one breath per movement. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Really beautiful. Okay. So we're coming back to the 5 pillars. At each checkpoint, see if you can pick one of the pillars to check into. Let's lift the right leg up. You can bend your knee and make a circle with the hip or the ankles or the knees. And we're going to move into flip dog. Yeah, so Brian's demonstrating that really well. Basically, you flip over, both feet on the floor, one hand on the floor, reach your other arm up to the ceiling. Big breath in here. Good. Exhale, come back to downward facing dog. Root the left hand down into the floor and reach your right hand up to the ceiling for side plank. Awesome. Come back to downward facing dog, and you can move through a vinyasa flow here, or you can find steadiness in your downward facing dog. Let's lift the other leg up for flip dog. Awesome. Exhale, come back to downward facing dog. Root the hand down and lift up. Side plank. And come back to the 5 pillars. Don't lose your ujjayi, your breath. Great. Find your drishti to your hand. Excellent. And release into downward facing dog. Right leg comes forward between the hands, crescent lunge. We're going to find our bandhas here. Pressing down into both feet, pulling that energy into the core, reaching the fingers all the way up to the ceiling. Awesome. Bring hands to your heart center and twist to your, I think it's the left.
That's right. We're mirrored.
To the right. We're mirrored. I haven't taught on Instagram for a while. Beautiful. All right, warrior 2. Spin your back heel down and bend into your front knee. Extended side angle. Bring your forearm to your inner thigh. I love that you're using a block, Brian. That helps to bring the foundation a little bit higher, to give you more power.
Love my block.
Your block loves you. Mm-hmm. All right, we'll take a vinyasa into the other side. Bring both hands to the earth. Good. Thank you.
No one else can do that.
Right? Okay, let's try the other side. Crescent lunge. So bending really deep into the front knee, pulling in through the pit of the belly, knitting your ribs together. Awesome. Bring hands to heart center and twist across the body. Beautiful. And come back to the 5 pillars. So where's your focus right now? When I'm in flow, my focus sometimes is on anything but what's happening on my mat. So notice if your mind has wandered. And if it has, that's normal, that's okay. But try to bring it back to your breath, or back to your hands, or back to your feet, back into your body. Great. Warrior 2. Extended side angle. And right here, press down into your feet and then try to pull your heels closer together. So your feet aren't going to move, but we're going to help wake up those muscles. Those strong muscles that get you through so much, that take you everywhere you want to go. And come back to the 5 pillars. Where's your drishti? Check in with your ujjayi, your breath, our foundation, our heat, and finally our flow. Let's take it through a vinyasa. Hands to the floor. Match your breath to your movement. And meet in downward facing dog. Let's take a giant breath in together. And a big exhale. As light as you can, bring your feet to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. Sit a little bit lower, Brian. And at home, everyone at home. Awesome. Bring your hands to heart center and twist your upper body to the right. So we've got that strong foundation in the lower body. Our hips are immovable. And we're finding that space in that air in the thoracic spine as we twist to one side. Now keep your hips where they are and unwind. Come back to Thunderbolt. Awesome. And twist to the other side. So find that steadiness in your lower half. We're creating Sthira-Sukha. That steadiness in your lower half and that space in your upper half. Really expand into the chest and upper back here. Exhale, come back to Thunderbolt. Sit a little lower. Where's your focus right now? Where's your drishti? You have physical drishti, where you're looking with your eyes. You have mental drishti, what we're focusing on in our head. Okay, great. Forward fold. Fingers to toes, forward fold. Soften your knees. Bend your knees so much. Bend your knees even more. To let your chest rest on your thighs. Find that steadiness in your lower body. Awesome. Release. Slide your hands under your feet for palms to toes, forward fold. Release your hands and make starfish with all 10 fingers. Plant your hands, lift your hips up high. Crow pose. So with that foundation that we just set, plant your hands down. Use your core to lift the hips up and fly like a crow.
Caca.
Caca. Great. Shoot back for a vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And we're going to check back in. Do we have our drishti? Do we have our ujjayi? Can we feel our bandhas? Connection of hands and feet to the floor. Do we have our tapas? I think so. I see some sweat. And last, our vinyasa. Are we in flow? And remember, there's no judgment here. It's just checking through, seeing where we're at. Okay, great. Bring your feet to your hands. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. And come to standing. Reach your arms all the way up to the ceiling, extended mountain. Awesome. Eagle pose, right side. So we're going to bend deeply into both knees and wrap one leg over the other. And we're going to wrap the opposite arm underneath. Great. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, eagle pose on the other side. Inhale, extended mountain. Tree pose, right side. So we're going to create the foundation with the foot and then Bringing the other foot to the inside, maybe a kickstand on the floor, on the shin, or at the top of the thigh like Brian's showing. Really press both hands together. Press the foot into the floor, press your foot into the thigh, and pull into the core to ignite your bandhas. And release to the other side. So this pose, just like a real tree, starts at the ground level. So we're using all four corners of the feet to find that balance of the foot. We're pulling all of the tissue into the leg to ignite the muscles to help support us, just like a tree trunk. And then we want to find space and air in the upper body, just like we do with a tree, how the branches can move in the wind. Okay, release the foot, reach up to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. We're coming back to our vinyasa. Exhale, chaturanga. We're going to move through upward facing dog to downward facing dog. And then bring the right foot between the hands for warrior two. Triangle pose. Great, come back up. Point both feet towards your phone, Brian, and we're gonna do standing wide leg forward fold. Awesome. So right here, find some softening in your joints. A common one here is to lock out the knees, let your knees soften. Good, pull the pit of the belly into the backbone and lift all the way up to stand. Namaste, front facing forward fold. So we're going to create a pyramid shape with the lower body and fold over the front thigh. Beautiful. And vinyasa to the other side. All right, let's do the other side, warrior two. Triangle pose. Press down through the feet, pull into the core, and come all the way up to stand. Forward fold here, wide leg forward fold. Brian's taking a bind with his hands behind the back. Feel free to do that too. And then really breathe into your upper chest and back. Beautiful. Root down through your feet to lift all the way up to stand. Namaste, front facing forward fold, and go ahead and keep the bind. Where's your focus, your drishti? Where's your mind right now when it's getting tough? When you're not sure if this is what you signed up for on a Sunday morning? Release your hands and let's take a vinyasa flow. Moving, matching breath to movement. Meeting in downward facing dog. Great, come to high plank. Awesome, and lower all the way down to your belly. And plant your hands under your forehead. And just breathe into your belly right here. Notice what's shifted in your body through this practice. And notice what's shifted in your mind. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Upward facing dog. Really open up the chest. Pull the shoulders, the arm bones back. Beautiful downward facing dog. Hop your feet all the way through and come to your bum. Have a seat. To boat pose.
Oh, like that, huh?
Yeah, this is the problem, guys, with teaching teachers. They think they know where you're going to go. And right here, we're going to create our foundation. So now our feet and our hands are off the floor. But I want you to pretend like you're pressing into something with your hands. You're pressing into something with your feet. Pretend, Brian. And then you're using that energy to pull into your core. Awesome. And now we're going to find a fancy way to get into half pigeon. So that might mean you rock and roll and you do a flip in the air. It might mean you just turn over and bring your right shin to the front of your mat and stretch your back leg back. Take a big deep breath in here. And a big exhale out. And we'll switch sides. There's two types of people, the people who love pigeon and the people who do not love pigeon. And notice what's coming up for you here in this space, in this stillness. And I'm going to offer you a tool here. Come back to the 5 pillars. Come back to your drishti, your focus. Come back to your ujjayi, your breathing. Come back to your bandhas. Notice the sensation of your feet and your hands. Feel the strength of your core. Come back to the tapas, that fire that you've built. And vinyasa, that flow that you found. And that will get you through the difficult poses. Okay, release. Bring your hands behind your back, bring your feet out in front. We're going to go to reverse tabletop. So just press hands and feet in the floor, lift your hips up. The biggest, deepest breath of your entire life right here. Exhale, release all the way down to the floor. So lie down on your back and bring your feet up to the floor, to the ceiling. Waterfall. Without the block, just bring them right up. Good, flex your feet. Excellent, and then keeping your core engaged, slowly lower your feet all the way down to the floor. A little bit of abs here. Okay, press your left foot to the imaginary wall and pull your right knee into your chest. Keep that engagement in your left side and twist over across the body. Keep your shoulders resting heavy. And with every exhale, try to release a little deeper. Unwind, pull both knees into the chest. And now stretch your left leg out on the mat. Find that imaginary wall to press your foot into and twist to your other side. Keep your shoulders grounded. It's okay if your knee doesn't make it to the floor. Keep your shoulders grounded. And release here. Come back to center or hug both knees into the chest. Come back to that intention that you set just 30 minutes ago. And the intention that I offered was to find your power. Not Brian's power, not Mallory's power, your power. Release your legs, bring your soles of the feet together, and let your knees drop out to the side, butterfly. And Shavasana. creating an intentional Shavasana where we bring in the 5 pillars of Baptiste Yoga or Drishti. Our breath, our foundation, our core, our fire, and our flow. Even in a static pose, we can find all 5 of the pillars. Sometimes the practice of yoga is even more of a mental practice than a physical practice. And that's what I invite you to find right here. With intention, bring movement into your hands and feet, your bandhas, and roll to one side. Make a pillow for your head and feel the strength of your body as you rest here on your mat. Feel the space in your joints that you've created through this practice. Feel the firmness of the earth beneath you. And come up to a comfortable seat. Bring your hands to your heart center, and we're going to close with one Om. Deep breath in together. Bring your fingertips to your forehead center. Thank you so much for showing up to flow with me on this Sunday morning. And give yourself a big thank you for your commitment to being here. The light in me honors the light within you. Namaste.
Namaste. Woo! Thank you, Mallory.
Thank you everyone so much for being here today. We're going to close it out. Go to Baptiste Power Yoga Phoenix. If you're not following them, give them a follow and check out their website. Look at the ways that you can be a part of this community, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you got out of today. I can't wait to hear. That's my favorite part. Okay, bye everybody.
See ya. Thanks, Mal.